De regreso aquí en Auto 060 en el especial del Porsche 918 Spyder desde el Circuito de las Américas en Austin, Texas. Y en este segmento vamos a hablar con nuestro colega Peter Valdes-Dapena de CNNMoney.com, con quien compartimos parte de la experiencia ahí manejando tanto en la pista como fuera de ella. Y bueno, con Peter vamos a hablar un poco sobre no solamente este auto, sino en general el mercado de los autos de super lujo en el mundo, que parece que está en una gran explosión.
So now we're Peter Valdes-Dapena from CNNMoney.com, and we just off driving the 918 Spyder off the roads, which is an amazing thing because that car is, it's fantastic on the track and super fast. So what's your impressions in general about the car?
I mean, in general, it's one of the coolest cars I've ever driven. I mean, one of the things that really struck me about it, I mean, obviously the performance capabilities are certainly way beyond what I could even begin to touch what this car could do. I got some idea when I went out riding with a professional driver. He'd set a Nürburgring record, and this car just corners incredibly. It takes off like a beast. But the thing I really love is the way it sounds. It sounds different from any other car I've ever driven. You know, at times it can sound almost like a Toyota Prius or a regular hybrid when you're running under electric mode. Yeah. It's quiet. You know, it starts to wind up, and then when that gasoline engine kicks in, it kicks in with a roar. I mean, it's not just a gentle sound. It startles you the first time it happens, but it's really striking. It's got such a rumble to it, and there's just so much incredible power in this thing.
Yeah. 887 horsepower total, I think it is, about 660 with the V8 engine, right?
608 from the V8, 608 just from the V8 engine alone. I mean, that by itself would be incredible.
Supercar, yeah.
That's more than a 911 Turbo S.
Exactly.
You know, that's an awesome car, even without adding in the front and back electric motors that bring it up to 887 horsepower. With all-wheel drive, because you have a separate electric motor for the front wheels, and this thing, it's a beast. But it's actually a pretty tame beast. I mean, you can handle it. I did not feel
you don't feel scared, right?
It's not scary. I mean, I took this thing around the track. It was not scary. It was not difficult. The only hard part was holding myself in the seat around the corners because, you know, going around these turns, it's just pulling you to the outside. The car holds on tight. It corners flat.
Yeah.
But there's just so much force and power.
You're doing pretty much everything that it's out there. And right now, I would say, I mean, at least my opinion, I want to hear yours. This is probably one of the 1, 2, or 3 best cars there are out there right now, right? Maybe the McLaren, the V1, and
sure.
Maybe.
I mean, I think in this class, it's a really, really interesting time. I love covering the auto industry right now. It's such an interesting time because a super performance plug-in hybrid sounds crazy, except, okay, Porsche's got one for $845,000. Ferrari's doing one, the Ferrari LaFerrari, for over $1 million. McLaren's doing a high-performance plug-in car. Everybody's doing these things because it's clear from talking to the people at Porsche, it's not just for show. They're doing this because hybridization is going to be a part of performance cars from here on in because it just makes them better. It makes them not just more efficient, but more powerful. You can do more things with electric motors than you can do with just a gasoline engine. Not like the gasoline engine is going to go away.
Exactly.
But this kind of augmentation is here to stay.
And then maybe we in the media, I'm not blaming you directly, but like in general, I think some people give them like bad rap for hybrid cars. They're not fun. They're not like cool. But this is like the complete extreme of that.
It's not a bad rap. It's kind of the way hybrid cars have been.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. I think the Toyota Prius is a great car. It's practical. It's fuel efficient. Fun? Not even close. It's not fun. It's not what hybrids have been about. This shows you that, look, hybrids are a performance feature. Anything that makes a car more efficient can also make it more fun. It depends on how you want to apply that efficiency. If you apply that efficiency to getting the most power and getting the most performance, then that's what you're going to get. You're going to get something like this that's just going to blow you away.
So in terms of people who are always expecting that they're not know what they're going to get in a car like this, and also those traditionalists, like especially with Porsche, which is like a brand that they didn't like the Cayenne at the beginning. They didn't like the McLaren, the Panamera. I'm sorry, And but so there's some people that are going to say like, what, an electric Porsche? I don't want that.
Well, there was a time not that long ago when I interviewed some of the top executives of Porsche, and they said, hybrid sports car, not going to happen because it's the hybridization. It adds weight, it adds extra packaging in the car. It's just not really. It's not what people are looking for in a Porsche. But clearly, they've discovered that there is a way that we can do this. That we can put this technology into a sports car, make it handle really well, make it accelerate really well, and by the way, it gets 67 miles a gallon equivalent.
Exactly. And 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds or something like that.
2.5 seconds. Yeah. I mean, this thing goes 0 to 60 in almost less time than it takes to say 0 to 60.
It's amazing. An interesting story also behind the scenes with Dr. Frank Ballister, the head of the program, that they started this program like kind of a quote-unquote their spare time, almost like with no authorization from Porsche, and then they show it and then they convince them too, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
That you can sell people, because it's part of the idea. It is a big step. It's something that's absolutely necessary, but it is a big step for a brand like Porsche to say, you know what, we can have hybrids and we can make them exciting and fun. And Porsche's had hybrids before. We've had hybrid Cayennes, hybrid Panamera. This is the next step. It's a plug-in hybrid. Now they've also got the plug-in hybrid Panamera. And, Porsche knows with a brand like theirs, Porsche's a very, very profitable car brand because they have so much equity and people believe in that brand. Exactly. They understand that brand. You don't want to mess with that. You don't want to risk people saying, you know what, they're not serious about performance anymore. So if you've got to come out with your first plug-in hybrid, you want to make it something that's just going to.
So in that sense, might be, to some people might sound risky, but it really isn't. I mean, because the result of this car, the final product is amazing, right?
The final product is amazing. It's certainly not a car that everybody can afford. It's a car that very, very few people can afford. But it's not about that. I think it's about showing the capability. And I guarantee you they're going to have no trouble selling all 918 of these cars.
Yeah, 918 they're producing for 845,000, I think, is the starting price.
The starting price, and we're talking about Porsche here, so those options are going to be getting,
and especially with these kind of cars, there are going to be a lot of people who want to do like, I'm not going to say crazy, but very different things and wild things.
Right, you can buy a $20,000 fitted luggage set. There's one paint color, the dark blue paint color. It's a $69,000 paint option on this car. You could buy cars for what the options on this car cost.
Exactly.
So, but still, you're going to have plenty of people out there that are going to be lining up to buy one of these.
And speaking about that segment, the ultra luxury, high performance segment. It's crazy, I mean, where's this money coming from? Because I think the Lamborghini Huracan sold 1,000 units before they show it at the Geneva Auto Show, and they cannot make enough of them. It seems.
It's crazy, and that's a car that's replacing their most popular model, and it's obviously going to be really popular, but it costs well over $100,000. Where the money's coming from is when I've talked to these car companies about this, and it's who you'd think. It's celebrities, it's sports stars, it's big-time investors. There are enough people out there that have this kind of money. The thing is, people that have this kind of money aren't buying just one car.
Oh, yeah.
They're buying. This is not going to be the only car in somebody's garage. You're not going to pick up groceries in a 918 Spyder. This is going to be in there with probably other Porsches, with a Lamborghini, with a Ferrari. When all these plug-in hybrids come out, I bet you there's going to be some electric car fans, probably out in California, they're going to have one of each.
Absolutely. And maybe I heard, I don't know if it's true, but some people are buying 1 or 2 or 3 of these because this is going to be a collector's item in that sense too, right? I mean, in 5-10 years, this car is going to be worth millions.
Yeah, depreciation on this car is going to be negligible, if anything. I mean, it's probably going to go up in value, maybe not right away, but over time, this car absolutely will be, I guarantee you, worth over $1 million in the future.
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing your experience with us here. And,
great.
And we'll check your stuff on CNNMoney.com, right?
Great. I'll have a whole write-up and a video and all that, too.
Excellent.
And everything else.
Thank you, Peter. Nice
Thanks
talking to
a
you.
lot.
Bye.
Este programa fue una producción de National Latino Broadcasting.